Okay, hello YouTube. This is Ryan from North Coast Woodworks, and I was doing a project yesterday. I'm making a little thing for my iPad to sit on my desk, and I was looking at all my finishes in my cupboard here, and I thought I'd do a little video on this piece of slab wood here that I have, and I'm going to use for making a footstool. I planed it, did some epoxy fix on some cracks. I got some more cracks over here to fix. So this will make a good slab, but I'm going to plane it again anyway. So I have, my finishes are seal coat, it's a shellac. It's like what they call it, a sanding sealer. And then I have Wood River Tung Oil here, 100% Tung Oil. And then I have Armor Seal semi-gloss here. And this is my favorite, is my Osmo poly. It's not really a poly, but it's like a poly. Stuff's not cheap though. And then I have my regular polyurethane. This is the California VOC compliant stuff, you know, tree hugger stuff. And I'm not a huge fan of poly. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead, get my knife. I'm going to do this quick because I'm on a time crunch today. I want to get this done. So I'm going to run through these, and this is how I saved my I made a video yesterday, didn't like it, so I deleted it and started on the back side of this piece of wood actually. I thought I'd do another one. So I saved my rags in my refrigerator inside my old glove, and it seems to work pretty good. So first, I'm going to do the bullseye shellac. So what I like to do is I rub it on. Pretty liberally. And I let it set. So if I'm doing a big project, I'll go over it a couple times. Like a big desktop or table or whatever. And my first coat I always wipe off. And I'll show you here in a little bit what that is. So what I'm going to do is, like you can watch this stuff soak in. This is really thin material. So I'm going to go on to my next one here, which is my Tung Oil. And my Tung Oil, I mix this stuff with mineral spirits. First coat, I always mix it about 30% to 40% by eyeball. Mineral spirits to about 60 to 70% Tung Oil. Make sure you mix it really well in the cup. And this will actually keep in the refrigerator. I have a little lid. I buy these at Walmart, these little cups, and they come with lids. They're for like restaurant takeout food. And in the refrigerator, this will keep until you're done with your project. So I put it right next to my gloves. So this stuff is also pretty thin. And this stuff is like food grade, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's, once dry, it can either touch food or be allowed with food or something. I think people use it for cutting boards, but I don't do none of that. So if you're going to use it for that, make sure you look it up. Again, I rub it in, nothing special, and let it set. So I'm going to come back to my shellac. I'm going to do two at a time. I'll probably speed this video up because I do them all the same. Apply a couple times, rub it in, let it soak in, and at the end I rub it off. So I'll probably speed the middle of this video up, and I'll come back when I wipe it off. So I'm going to finish this. I'll probably just speed this up to triple time or something, and I'll see you guys back here in a little bit. Alright, I thought I would fill this time with a little bit of explanation while you watch. First off, I said I made a mistake. Well, actually I didn't make a mistake when I flipped it over. I just forgot to include Osmo. It all came out fine, looked good. I thought I'd include my favorite finish. And then I alluded to rag storage. I'll show you later in the next clips how I do it. It's pretty easy, it works good. And in this piece here, I did clean the wood beforehand. I used mineral spirits. wipe down the wood after I sanded it. I sanded with 80 grit and then 120 grit to a pretty good finish, but not great. And then I alluded to the fact that I don't really like poly. That big can of poly is a little funny to me because I don't like poly. I used to use it all the time until I started finding other finishes. So that's probably why that is. So it's funny, I got a big can of the stuff I don't like. But all right, enjoy the rest of this, and I'll see you guys on the next clip. Okay, I'm back. And what I do is, like, these have all started to soak in pretty good, and I went back over them again. This shellac soaks in probably the quickest. I'm gonna wipe it off. Let's take the back side of the rag, or if it's a big project, I'll use a different rag. I actually wipe it off. You can even reapply it quick. It was a little tacky, let it go maybe a little too long. I can do it again. All right, I'll wipe this one off. This is my Tung Oil. It dries the slowest. I'll even add a hardener to it sometimes. It's a Japanese hardener. Japan dryer it's called. The Armor Seal. This stuff doesn't dry very fast either. I mean, it's faster than the Tung Oil, not as fast as that shellac. That shellac dries the fastest. You can actually reapply that shellac in no time. It dries really fast. And now the poly. The Osmo you don't really have to wipe off, but to be fair, I'll wipe it off. If you put it on real thin, but I like to still wipe it the first time. Okay, there we go, they're all wiped. Tomorrow I'll come back, hit them with a little steel wool, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm back. It's actually the same day. It's about 7 hours later, and it's all really dry. I just started using a little steel wool on the sanding compound here, the shellac, and then I'm gonna move over. This is just 4-aught steel wool. And then the Armor Seal. And then the Osmo. And then the poly. The poly is probably the least dry. I can actually feel it grab just a hair. And it's dry to the touch. This just grabs the steel wool. All right. Then the essence of expedience. Let me get this cup out of the way. Take a clean rag just to make sure. So this stuff was in the fridge. I added a little bit more Tung Oil to it just a minute ago and mixed it up real good. You open these up real fast. I'll probably edit out me opening these. back. So let's start with the shellac. Same rag that I had earlier today. Find the corner that I was using. I think it's this corner. Now I'm just going to do these once. Get a little more on there. So now I'm trying to get a really light touch. And that's it. I'll come back tomorrow and I'll put one more coat on. Take my glove. Get the air out of it. And I'll tie it up. And it'll go back in the fridge. I'll label it out off camera. And it'll go back in the fridge. Put another glove on here. I don't let you guys make you guys watch them do every one with the glove, but that's how I do it. Keeps the air out. All right, the tung oil. Find my spot. It's hard to tell. I don't even know which spot it was. I think it's this one right here. Got a little too much. Wipe some back out. All right. Fold my rag over on the wet spot and just drag it across. Nice and light. This is how I do big projects too. I just drug that across real light. I left a nice coat on it. I'll do them all this way. Armor seal, yep. Yeah, it looks about right. You'll get a feel for, I don't like a lot of finish, so like I said. So I'll ball up the wet spot again right here. I'll just gently drag it across. If it's a long piece, I drag the whole piece. You know, the whole piece. So, and that's it. There we go. Go on to the Osmo. I think it was this corner. A little bit on. A little more, I think. This stuff is thicker. This stuff's like poly. It is poly for the most part, but it's just, I think they make it different, I don't know, but it's different, but it's the same consistency as poly for the most part. It doesn't dry as fast. Might have a little more than I want. Alright. Same thing. And I usually like to fold over like a flat spot. See, like a flat spot like that. And then I just drag it across. And I use the reflection of my light to shine up on it. Make sure I don't have any like bad spots. Poly, the same thing. Find the corner. A little on. Maybe a little too much. That might be alright. Work it around so you get a good spread, there's no puddles. So I'm even going against the grain, it doesn't matter because when my finished product, when I fold my flat spot here, and I drag it across, that will be always with the grain. Might have a little bit, need a little more up here. I can come back, put a little more on, and do it again. The poly will start to set up if you're doing a big job after a few minutes, so you got to make sure you work with a purpose. That looks pretty good. And that's it. Again, I take the glove, put it in my hand, pull it over. I squeeze out the air, at least most of it. Tie it up. That's it. I'll let this dry. Tomorrow I'll do one more steel wool on it, gentle steel wool, and we'll put one more coat on it. The shellac might take 2 more coats because it's so thin. And you can see the difference. I really like these 2, or these 3. This is really deep, the Tung Oil. So I'll be back tomorrow at my lunchtime and we'll do this again. Okay, so I'm back. It's the next day, lunchtime. So this video is starting to get long. So I'm gonna do the same exact process today as I did yesterday, which is steel wool quickly, real light, and then put a thin coat on and let it set. So I want to speed this up like 3 times or something for quick play. But I don't want to stop it and then come back tomorrow. So I'll let you guys watch it in triple time. And then tomorrow we'll come back and see the results, you know, and I don't want this getting too long. So one thing is, if you go against the grain, you want to make sure you're not pushing very hard at all. You're just scuffing here. So you're supposed to go with the grain. Sometimes I'll go against. I did more against yesterday. Hello, this is Ryan. I'm back. It's been about 5 days now, probably, since I did the last coat on here. And so I just wanted to give you guys the finishing parts of this video. Unfortunately, my first attempt at this video, we had some operator error, and as I was peeling the tape off, I must have pressed the pause button on my recording and didn't notice it. So unfortunately, you're not going to get to see me peeling the tape off. But trust me, all I did was peel the tape off. I did nothing else to this. Didn't touch it up. I didn't do anything. One thing I did do is, like I've kind of alluded to, I do like this Tung Oil here the best. However, it is the darkest. Although the Armor Seal did a really nice job and the Osmo did a really nice job. I'm happy with all of them, even the poly. Not a huge fan of the poly, but after this, I guess maybe I'll get another try. I've maybe had some bad experiences with it. I did put it on really thin this time, like I have been doing recently, and that's probably why I like it better. Is I don't like that fake build-up look that you get from some finishes. So anyway, back to what I was saying. The Tung Oil, I realized I was doing some other stuff in my shop, that normally the Tung Oil, because it's not really a finish, it's more of a stain type of a finish. It doesn't put a top coat on or anything, a protective coat. I normally put either Osmo over it, I put poly over it once, and I think I've put Armor Seal over it once. My last few projects I've just done Osmo over top of the Tung Oil. So I went ahead and took a scrap piece, and this is my scrap piece, and I put one coat of Tung Oil along with one coat, well actually 2 coats of Osmo. Same process I did for the other ones, where I used steel wool in between. And I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Now this is the same tree, but this is a little further out on the tree, so the edges this start out a little more red color than brown on the edges. So it's not a true representation, but you can get the idea. So now this has a protective coat over it. So I'll go through these real quick, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do next for my next video. So I'll give you an angle from both sides. We got some sunlight reflectiveness in here. Here's the shellac. I'm not real experienced with the shellac. I bought some last year to try for something and ended up not using it. I used Armor Seal instead. But the shellac, they say, is a thinner product, and it is. And it sprays better, they say, too. But I like the finish. It looks nice. But I would definitely recoat, at least a third coat of, probably for all of these though, a third coat. If I'm doing like end tables, coffee tables, dining table, you know, something lots of wear and glasses and stuff. Here's the Tung Oil. Again, there's no top coat on this. There's no finish to it per se. So then the Armor Seal. They all made the grain pop pretty nice. I do like probably these 3 in the shot the best here in the middle 3. Excuse me. And then the Osmo, which I just like the Osmo because it seems to apply real nice. Although I didn't have too much trouble with any of them. And then the poly. I'll back up a little bit so you guys can see them. If I'm making you dizzy, I apologize. And then again, here's the shot of the one that I did with the overcoat over top of the Tung Oil. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do next before I plane this down. Use it for my project. Oh, here I use this too. These are finishing pads from 3M. They also make ones you can use in between coats, which I have not used that much. But I use this just to buff out my finish when I'm done. So sometimes you'll have like, you get this little top coat, like dust particles almost on your finish. That will knock them off without scratching your finish. See, I just did these and you can't tell. It shines them up a little bit, Takes off any little like little dust particles that stick to the top. You can get those at I get mine at Lowe's. I went to Sherman-Williams and asked the guy in Sherman-Williams. He knew what the hell I was talking about. Although it was a weekend, there was a probably 20-year-old kid working in there, so he probably doesn't have a lot of knowledge. But all right, back to what I was saying. I have ADD. I apologize. Well, adult ADD anyway. No offense to anybody that has it. So my next video, I'm gonna take and I'll do like water ring test on all these, including this one, which is partly why I did it. These are kind of small, so I probably can't put glasses on them. I might just use like medicine bottles and put some water in and freeze them and set them on here so they can sweat, start to drip. And now maybe add some little drops of water to them and stuff. And then I might do a scratch test, but I'm not sure I'm gonna do that accurately. So we'll see. But I'd make another video with like just testing water ring on these and see how they do before I see my planer again and knock this all off of here. So, all right, have a good day. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, let me know. I'm not fancy in any way, shape, or form. So you see is what you get. Have a good day.